We're not changing anything about the burden of proof, so it remains you are innocent until proven guilty. Which is why it's important for us to be able to get the right evidence to show either that it was very obvious that consent wasn't being given, so the normal type of thing that people understand, being dragged off the street, but much more subtly, if somebody is saying they've been in a relationship but they say no on a particular instance, no means no. Or if somebody consents to a certain type of sex, but a different type of sex happens, again, that could be rape. So it's much more nuanced.
You're launching this campaign alongside the National Union of Students. Is it a particular problem on student campuses?
I think because of Freshers' Week, everyone's very excited, people away from home. Some people may not have experienced the sort of freedom that they now have. I think it's good that people are clear about it and that there's a conversation that people can have about what is and isn't consent, so there's a really clear understanding.
We went to talk to some students to ask what they thought consent meant. Here's what they had to say.
The law already at the moment has kind of things about you have to have the capacity and the capability to consent, and if you are so wasted that you won't remember it the next morning, then you're not really in a position where you can say yes or no to anything, really.
If you're both drunk and nobody else was around and nobody's got recollection of the night, actually that's going to be really hard to prove.
So let's pick up that scenario that was raised by a couple of students. Two people are really drunk, they're not unconscious, both think the other consented, and in the morning, for example, the woman wakes up, has no recollection of consenting and thinks she might have been raped.
That's a really difficult one. Consent has to be sort of given, but equally there has to be an offence there. So if they can't remember what's happened, I think in that case, if I were the woman, I might go to a support group and ask for some help and talk it through with somebody. If you've got, as the clip there quite rightly said, if you've got somebody who is so incapacitated that they can't give consent, then the law is very clear there, and there has been case law that that would be an offence.
So that's interesting. If a woman isn't sure if she consented, she might have done, she might not, you're saying she shouldn't make a complaint to the police?
I'm saying that she should think about it and she should maybe talk to some support groups. If she thinks that there may have been an offence, then she should certainly talk to the police. But I think you need to, it's not as simple as what happened. If people can't remember, they need to, it's each circumstances of each case that we would look at.